Hello, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the latest episode of the show. My name is Benjamin Brain. I'll be your host for the next 60 minutes or so, and this is the truth about business. So this episode marks the first in a series of interviews with real-life business champions, and it's my mission to share their experience, failures, triumphs, habits and tactics of those who have really been there, done that, and have the scars to prove it, so that you, the audience, can fast-track your own business success. Now, this isn't business theory. This is real life business from those entrepreneurs who are out there right now, those men and women in the trenches making it happen. And I couldn't have picked a better guest for our first episode. I've been really excited to get this one uploaded. The next 60 minutes plus are absolutely jam-packed with business experience, wisdom, and also a few home truths that might be hard to hear, but is the reality of being a business owner. And that's what this series is all about, hearing how it really is from those who are living it right now. So I'm delighted to bring to you a fantastic interview with Mr. Mark Averill. After having started out in the automotive industry with the likes of Toyota and BMW, Mark has an amazing real life story of what can happen when you follow your dreams and you give it everything you've got. From being employed to a self-employed photographer to co-founding Averill Media, a Derby-based media powerhouse that is literally taking the industry by storm. This is one you are not going to want to miss. So here you'll discover the huge power of regular networking and how to do it effectively. You'll hear about the sacrifices Mark has had to make to build his media empire because it hasn't been easy, and also what it really takes to be successful as your own boss, because let's face it, it's just not for everyone. And there's so much more. This really was a great interview. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is the Truth About Business interview, my first interview with Mr. Mark Averill of Averill Media. Mark, welcome to the Truth About Business. Thank you for taking some time to share your experiences with us today. So we know that as of now, you're the managing director of a thriving media powerhouse, but I want to go back to the early days. So thinking back to your childhood days, can you think of any examples or instances where you showed any sort of entrepreneurial flair, or there were signs that you would become the Mark Averill business owner of today?
I think I've always been I don't like this expression, but I've always been a bit of a Del boy. So when I was younger, I always liked to kind of buy stuff, and sell stuff. So I'd buy, when Nokias were all the rage, I'd buy like the latest Nokia mobile phone, and you almost kind of modify it, put the covers on it and the flashing aerials and stuff, and sell them on for more. So probably back then I noticed I've always liked buying and selling. So I've always I'm always on eBay. I'm always looking for bargains. So I suppose that, I don't know if you can express that as an entrepreneurial trait. I don't know, but yeah, I've always been interested in business, and just kind of been a bit of a Del boy, buying and selling bits and bobs when I was younger. So
okay, all right. Always been a wheeler dealer.
Wheeler dealer, that's the one.
So from your younger days then, did you always have a desire to be a business owner? Was that something that you were conscious of?
Not when I was younger, I don't think. No. When I was younger, I just wanted to do something when I had a job that I enjoyed, which is why I first started off in the motor industry, which is almost kind of took full loop now. So no, I didn't express any interest in setting up my own business when I was younger. I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. But I was always on the side, kind of, buying and selling bits and bobs. So, yeah, maybe it's always been in the background, but never really come to fruition. Probably until my late 20s, really.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of developed over the last probably 5-10 years, really.
Yeah. So you've made the transition from going from being employed to being self-employed and employing other people.
Yeah.
Was there a trigger moment that you remember where you just thought, right, I want to be my own boss now. I want to be the sort of master of my own destiny.
Yeah, I think when and he won't mind me saying this, but I was in a job at BMW, and I remember only being there for 11 months. I was with Toyota for 8 years. I had a really good stint there with Inchcape Toyota, and I got on really well there and worked my way up the ladder. And then I jumped out of there and kind of got headhunted by BMW. And I was only there for 11 months, and I didn't enjoy the pace of it. I just thought, this doesn't fit with me. Didn't. It's when I first started a family. And I always remember handing my notice in there. I always remember Chris Astor coming up to me when I left. He says, "You're a great guy, but you just need to be your own boss. You don't like being told what to do." Yeah. And that kind of stuck with me. And obviously, I didn't go out and be my own boss straight after that. I went on to other jobs after that. But it always stuck with me. He said, and I do like I can be told what I will be told what to do. I'm not kind of a diva or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it kind of stuck with me that he said, and. I don't know if he actually knows that, but yeah, he said that, and I thought, yeah, he's right, because it was very fast paced there, and I just thought, I don't like the pace of this. I'd love to work at my own pace.
Yeah.
And the motor trade at that time wasn't a right fit for me.
Yeah. Okay, so you spent the early years of your career in the automotive industry.
Yeah.
You'd said earlier that you believed that whether you were employed or self-employed, you wanted to do something that you enjoyed.
Uh-huh.
So clearly, I'm gathering cars is a passion of yours.
Yeah, I mean, when I was at BMW, so I don't know how many years ago that was now. That's got to be cracking on for, I don't know, you might tell me.
2010, according to LinkedIn.
Yeah, so that's near, knocking on 10 years. 10 years ago, wow, that's quite scary thinking about that. So I had a hobby in photography then.
Yeah.
So that's when my hobby kind of first started out, really, because that's when Olivia was born.
Yeah.
And I've always had a hobby in cars. Cars is my thing. Anybody who knows me knows cars is a big thing for me. Even though it drives my other half insane, because I spend lots of money on cars. But it was. I don't know if it was back then. I thought, what if I could roll these two hobbies into one?
Yeah.
Which I did. So I used to go to car shows and photograph car shows and stuff. And then that's what it come later on down the line. God, imagine turning this into a job.
Yeah.
Living the dream. You hear the expression "living the dream." Imagine doing this.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of started to get the wheels in motion a bit then.
Yeah.
And up in my skill level at that time. I wasn't a great photographer at that time, so it was then concentrating on up in the skill level then. Level then.
So that's the amazing thing for me, having sort of seen your career, how it's grown, particularly over the last sort of 2 or 3 years, because on one side of the guru world, the authors and the business speakers, you'll have the people that say, just go out there, follow your heart, follow your passion, and if that truly is your passion, don't worry about making money, because you'll find a way to make money from it.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you have people say, no, you need to focus on something that's going to generate income.
Yeah.
But for you, you've obviously gone down that route of following your dream and following your passion and being able to build a career off the back of it and, like you say, live the dream.
Yeah.
So for anybody that might be at the initial stages now of starting a business and they really want to build it around the passion, what would you say to somebody if they were sat here now? Would you advise doing it?
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to be 110% committed though.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to be a photographer, a full-time photographer, and I knew, that the path I wanted to go down. But I just kept. You have to drive for it. You really have to drive for it. I'm really. I will stay up till 1, 2 in the morning sometimes, learning new techniques or learning new equipment to stay one step ahead of the game. And I think you've got to. I was lucky when I left the conference centre. I had 4 years at the conference centre. I had a really good phone book, so everybody knew who I was in Derby, just as a business person. So I think my advice really for anyone who was just starting out, it's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And, as you'll know, that it's running your own business is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
Yeah.
Because you don't switch off.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to, gain that phone book first, gain that network.
Yeah.
And then if people love and support you, which a lot of people, have certainly done for me in the city at least, the rest should follow if you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're crap at what you do, no one's going to want you or buy your services.
Yeah.
So you've got to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
But then you've also got to have that phone book. I'm a big believer in probably getting your name out there first, gaining that phone book.
Yeah.
And then if it's a passion, you want to set up your own business and whatever you want to do, then go for it. If people want to support you, they will support you if you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
That's how it's worked for me, really.
Amazing. Great advice. And that's the reason that we're doing this podcast, The Truth About Business, because very rarely do you hear people say, this is tough. It's going to be hard. Like, there's no two ways about it. So to hear it actually coming from people who have been there and done that, hard. I think is going to resonate with people quite strongly.
I think people have this perception when you run your own business, like you're your own boss, you can do what you want when you want, and you can to an extent. I mean, not anymore with how busy we are now. When you first start out, you have got a lot of freedom. You can do what you want when you want. If you want to go and drop the kids off on a Monday morning and go and work from a cafe for an hour, you can do. There's times that we still can do that at the minute, but it's not all plain sailing. It's not all roses and flowers and be your own boss. You see a lot of women in business with the inspirational boss babe stuff, and it's really inspiring. But I think the message that a lot of business owners need to put out, that this isn't an easy gig. There's late nights, there's early mornings, there's money worries sometimes. You don't get paid. There's loads of crap that goes with business that needs to be spoken about, and that can have an effect on mental health. It can have an effect on your family. And I think that's got to be spoken about a lot more, because I think it is always put out there, especially in these books. Do this, do that, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to live on an island. It ain't like that. I think anyone who's from my stage in business to your Mel Morris's in business, will tell exactly the same story. And I think that needs to be spoken about a lot more than what it is at the moment. So.
Awesome. No, thank you for pointing it out there. It's good to hear the real honest truth about it, not sugarcoating it today.
No.
Right, so then going back to a couple of bits that you mentioned earlier, when you started, you said that it was all about the phone book. So obviously you've been quite big on the networking scene in Derby. Just tell us a little bit about that, a bit about the Derby Networking Club.
Networking, I remember when I first started at the Derby Conference Centre, I remember Esther, who was the sales manager there at the time, whose job I took was taken over and took over. She said to me, we're going to go out networking this week, and I didn't even know what it was. I said, networking, what's that? I as daft as it sounds, I thought she meant something to do with IT, as in networking, like network cables and stuff like that. I had no clue. So we're going to go out networking, and I remember, because obviously I've been in the motor trade for 10 years. I just sat behind a desk and I was on the receiving line all the time. So in the motor trade, you react. All you're doing is reacting. You're not going out seeking. And I remember going out to this networking event. I said, "What do we do?" She says, "Oh, we just meet people. You have a coffee. Sometimes you go to breakfast events or lunchtime event or evening events, and you just get to know people and get to know their businesses, get to know what they're about, and that's it, really." I was like, "Oh right, that sounds pretty cool." And I kind of got good at networking. Just literally networked the hell out of the city and Nottingham. Through the likes of Chamber of Commerce and Marketing Derby, and just went to every event I could do. I was literally like a networking tart. I would go to everything. But you do get your name out there, and people will know straight away who you are and what you do, and they I need a conference room or I need a meeting space. They'd come straight to me because they know who I am, and they're the first person that comes to the top of their mind, because I was always present at every event. So when I was at the conference centre, I decided to set up our own networking groups. I thought, this is easy. I'll set up my own, and it wasn't easy. It was a tough gig, but I've been to a lot of networking groups previous that I kind of didn't like the way they were ran, and I'm not going to say names or anything, but they were very stuffy and regimented, and I wanted to create something that was very different. So I created the Derby Networking Club whilst I was working at the Derby Conference Centre. And it was a Monday morning thing we had going on, and then took that with me. When I left there, I said to Mike, what are you doing with it? He says, we're not going to really do anything with it now, because it's always been yours. People associate you with it. I don't think it'd have the legs anyone else running it, so just take it. So I, myself and Laura Etheridge, who's always helped me with it from day one, took it and carried on with it.
Yeah.
The last year, as in this year 2019, we haven't done anything with it because Laura's been busy with her position within East Midlands Trains. I've been growing Averill, so we've parked it.
Yeah.
But it's still there. It's been in the background. We've rebranded it. We've had a new website, and we want to relaunch it.
Okay.
But I want to do something different because obviously there's lots of networking meetings out there. But I just want to do more of my idea is to do a bit more of a social networking thing.
Yeah.
And to concentrate on business owners.
Yeah.
As a bit of a get out, a bit of an escape.
Yeah.
Because what we tend to do as business owners are always wrapped up in the day-to-day all the time, and I want it to be an event that people can go to that it doesn't feel like a networking event. You just go for a beer, or we can just go bowling and just have a bit of a laugh and a giggle.
Yeah.
And kind of down tools.
Let off some steam.
Go for a bike ride or whatever, and then network. You're networking anyway. You naturally network. It happens organically. So that's what we'll probably do with it. Probably start of next year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any type of business in particular that you're hoping will, for anybody that's listening now that's thinking, I'd like to be a part of that?
Anyone. I think, if you want to kind of start networking and just down tools, and just go and meet like-minded people who are business owners. I'd probably say business owners.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to target more because we're the ones that get it in the neck a bit more. We're the ones that are probably under the cosh a bit more. So, business owners just want to down tools, network, have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of a giggle, and see where it goes from there, really.
Okay.
But it's always been a very relaxed networking group, not for profit.
Yeah.
We never made any money off it. And we've got a lot of business off the back of it. We get business now still from it, from seeds we've sown many years ago through it. So it always works.
And so if people who are listening now are interested in that, are you happy for them to get in touch with you and you can keep them posted? Yeah. So for anybody that is listening, if you go to the blog www.benjaminbrain.co.uk and look at the show notes, all Mark's contact details will be in there, so you can ping him an email if you're interested and get on that networking club when it's back on the open. So I think a thing about networking is it's quite a buzzword in the business industry, but I think what puts a lot of people off giving it a go is that they're not really sure how it works, what you're supposed to do. So I'm probably going to put you on the spot a little bit here, but you're a pro, so I'm sure you'll work it. But if you were to give 3 tips to a newbie networker, somebody who was perhaps coming along to your club for the first time, to help them feel comfortable but also get something out of it, what would you say?
There's 3 top tips from me. One is to be consistent. Yeah. Don't just roll up at an event and then never go again. Yeah. Because you won't get remembered. Yeah. You've got to keep on going and keep on going and keep on. I mean, I always remember I used to have to walk through the kitchen at the Derby Conference Centre to go to a networking club, and I used to have my suit on and my shirt and tie. And they'd be like, "Oh, you're off out again, mate? Are you off out?" I said, "I'm out networking." "Oh, it's all right for some." But I was always out every event, and I probably would do one a day. But you've got to be consistent. So that's my probably number one, is be consistent. Don't just think you're going to go to 1-2 networking events and then you're going to get loads of business. Yeah. That ain't going to happen. You've got to put unless you've got someone in the room in there that actually needs your service at that certain point in time, which very rarely happens. Yeah. Then you might win a bit of business, but no, you've got to be consistent. Keep going and going and going until people know who you are. Yeah. So people connecting with you all the time, and follow that up as well. Follow that up on LinkedIn as well. Okay. Second tip really is to not go to a networking event and sell. Yeah. You still see it now. Yeah. People will go to an event with a handful of business cards and they just literally work in the room with the business cards. Yeah. "Hi, I'm such and such, I'm such and such. Do you want my card?" And it's like, no, don't do it. You're there to make relationships. You're not there to sell. People think you're going to a networking event to sell, and that's probably why they put themselves under pressure. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to a networking event today. I bet I must win some business. Yeah. It doesn't happen like that. Yeah. You won't go to a networking event and just instantly win business. If you do, you're bloody good, or people need what you need. Yeah. They need what you've got. What you've got straight away. So, never go to sell. Never ever go to sell. Just go to build relationships. And don't be that person just literally there with a stack full of business cards, just chucking them out willy nilly.
Yeah.
You will annoy people.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I've never done it. Just go and make friends.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Go and make friends. Go and make new contacts, and be friendly and polite. And then the third tip really is to follow it up. So if you have exchanged business cards with somebody, just drop them an email. So great to meet you. Be good to maybe follow up with a one-to-one, have a coffee, get to know a bit more about their business.
Yeah.
And follow it up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Once you've connected with someone personally, it's great to connect with them on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Add them on LinkedIn. You can then export all your LinkedIn contacts to a spreadsheet, so you've got a phone book developing.
Yeah.
After networking then. So never go to sell. That's my biggest tip.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of networking.
Yeah.
So I think if people are listening now thinking, oh yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't go to an event full of strangers.
Yeah.
You will. You'll go there because there's always going to be people like me and like you won't mind me saying this, your Lindsay's from Marketing Derby.
Yeah. Who
will always be there and always will say hello to you.
Yeah.
And will always make you feel welcome.
Yeah.
So and try events like that. Put you in that situation. You go to some events where you have to stand up.
Yeah.
Like your B&Is of the world, you have to stand up and do 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The first time you do it, and I hope you don't mind me swearing, you do shit yourself because you're like, what do I say? I know so much about my own business and what I do, but I've got to stand up in front of all these strangers and tell them what I do.
Yeah.
I'd still get shaky and stuff like that now, but I do it. But throw yourself into them situations. Go to B&I event and stand up in front of 30 people and do 60 seconds because that is deep end.
Yeah.
Chuck yourself in, and the rest is easy really. Just go and make friends, build relationships, and get to know people.
Yeah.
And they'll remember you if you're just yourself, warm, friendly, and normal. Yeah. And not salesy. Yeah. They'll remember you. Yeah. And it's not rocket science. I think people do think networking's it can be. It's scary because you're speaking to strangers, but just be yourself. Yeah. That's the only thing I can say. Be yourself. And awesome. Don't go to sell.
Yeah. Okay. I think there are certain personalities who will thrive on their first networking event, but for most of us, we all feel the same way. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody's worried about meeting new people before they go to an event, but it's how you deal with those nerves that makes the difference. And I think you're absolutely right. You've just got to chuck yourself into it. Yeah. And sink or swim, because that is a lot of what business is about, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and just doing it.
It's if you're not, I don't know where it's come from. I picked up years ago. If you feel comfortable, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Yeah. I don't know if it is a saying and it's very, very true. I'm always not comfortable. Yeah. If I'm comfortable, I know that we're sailing along too easily. Yeah. So you need to just keep on pushing and feel uncomfortable all the time. Yeah. Because that's when you get the results, and again, networking is a big part of that. Yeah. If you're not feeling comfortable, that's good. That's a good thing. You're pushing yourself outside your ordinary. That's the only way you're going to move forward.
Amazing, great advice. So one last question on the networking front, and obviously we're going to talk a bit more about Averill later on. But you guys are crazy busy right now. You're working with some amazing clients. You're literally 24/7. Got so much business. It's coming out your ears. For somebody who is in that position, whether you are starting a business right now or you're already involved in the business and it's going well, would you recommend making that time to get out there and get the networking done?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, put in the graft now.
Yeah.
So if you are in a full-time job and you're thinking, I don't want to do this full-time job, you see it a lot, don't you, on Facebook? Oh, it's Monday, another week, and then people wishing their lives away. It's like, why you do it? Well, I did. You do. When I was in a job that I didn't enjoy, you are wishing your week away. Yeah. You just want it to be the weekend. Yeah. So if you are kind of in a full-time job and you feel like that, and you're thinking, I want to pursue my own career, doing whatever, start networking now. There's loads of evening events. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to put some extra graft in. Yeah. Or get up early at 7 o'clock and go to an event before work, and then do your shift at work. Yeah. Put tools down and then maybe go to another event in the evening. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Because that's the only way you're going to find out, rather than just chucking the towel in straight away and do it, and doing it. Why don't you just experiment with it first and go and try some networking events, see if running your own business or the feeling of running your own business fits with you.
Yeah.
Then go for it.
Yeah.
But you're just going to have to put the extra graft in, which is what you're going to have to get used to anyway as a business owner.
Yeah.
Not a 9 to 5.
Yeah, find out early on whether it's right for you. And it's not right for everybody.
No,
and
it
it doesn't mean you're a bad person,
No.
but, you know, find out early on before you've invested, committed and
exactly
resourced up
Yeah.
before you decide, oh, actually, this isn't for me.
This isn't for me.
Yeah.
And then you're not committed then. So, yeah, that's probably, you know, good advice to go and experiment with it first.
Yeah.
Or, you know, as what I did, kind of grow a business in the background.
Yeah.
And then fly with it if it feels it's sitting right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably my advice on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Some real good stuff there. So going back to your transition from employed to self-employed, the first business from my research where you were your own boss was Averill Photography.
Mm-hmm.
How did that transition go? Was it, you've already said you were building the business in the background through your networking.
Yeah.
Was there just a day where you just quit and started on your own, or how did that gradual transition come about?
Yeah, so back in BMW days, going into from BMW to the Derby Conference Centre, I was doing photography as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found it was something that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I just kept getting better and better at it to a point where I was doing, you know, weddings on the side. So I'd have people who were probably close to me, family and friends, saying, oh, you know, do you want to shoot this? Do you want to shoot this? And so I was chucking myself in at the deep end with that, because you can't mess up someone's wedding.
Yeah.
So you know, I was working part-time, photographing events, photographing cars, photographing weddings, all sorts of bits and bobs, products. I just kept growing it slowly in the background.
Yeah.
When I was at the conference centre as well, I was also allowed to do the photography for the centre. Okay. So that allowed me to get a sneak peek into commercial photography and how that was delivered and how it was done. And that kind of, again, grew steadily, and I couldn't do much commercial photography whilst I was at the conference centre because I was busy, you know, in the role there. Yeah. Busy networking. Yeah. So it kind of grew and grew as a part-time hobby. Something that I self-taught and just kept, I never stopped, so I'd never stop learning. Yeah. Because in our industry, it's a very competitive industry, and you have to be at the top of your game all the time. You have to learn new techniques, you have to get used to new equipment, be quicker, be smarter. So, you know, I was always learning in the background, you know, staying up till early hours in the morning watching YouTube videos, tutorials. I've never been to any courses or anything like that, so I just kind of developed it in the background. Yeah. And then when I left the conference centre, I was working for a relocations company for a year and still developing it in the background. And it got to a point, you know, after a year of working in there and developing the part-time photography, that I didn't feel that being employed was fitting with me anymore. Yeah. I just couldn't do it. I wasn't enjoying it, and the photography kept getting busier and busier. Yeah. And it was, and everyone's probably been on them crossroads. You get to them crossroads, and it's like, right, what do I do? Yeah. And I think if it wasn't for so much encouragement of people around me, and people in business, I did go out to business owners who I knew from networking, and just ask them their opinion. You know, do you think I could do this? And everyone said, yeah, you need to do it. I don't know why you're not doing it. Wow. You're good at what you do. The stuff you're churning out is better than what some of the full-time photographers that are out there at the minute are churning out. So why not? You've got a phone book, do it. And that's what I did. It was a tough decision because Jenny was working part-time at the time. You had your daughter. Yeah, we had Olivia, and then, you know, George had just come along, actually, just as we kind of started out as well. So obviously you have the pressure of a mortgage, two kids, you know, all your bills to pay. Yeah. And it's like, you know, this has got to work. Yeah. And I think by feeling uncomfortable again, and not knowing what's going to happen, you've got to go get out of bed and push yourself. Yeah. And do it. So, and I think for those people who are waiting for the right moment to do it, the circumstances that you've just talked about there, most people would have thought, no, I'm not going to do it now.
but it just goes, there's never a right time.
There's
In
never a
fact,
right time.
the fact that you had to make it work because
Yeah.
of those circumstances probably worked in your favour in the end, because you had no other choice but to make it work.
Exactly. I think if you're good at what you do, you have to believe you're good at what you do. So when I first started out, I'd have a lot of people say, "Oh, your stuff's amazing." I'd be like, "Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right." And then I think after I did Sean Barker's testimonial at Derby County, because he asked me to do that, that was a big turning point for me. I always tell everyone this story because he personally asked me to photograph his testimonial. Now, bear in mind, I'd kind of grown up with Derby County and watched Sean as a captain at Derby County.
Yeah.
And thought, for him to ask me, I must be all right.
Yeah. And so how did that come about? Did he know you personally already, or?
Met Sean at a networking event.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah, so I went to I think it was like a marketing derby lunch at Pride Park Stadium. And I remember I was sat on the table with him and I was like, God, that's Sean Barker. I was a bit starstruck. I never really get starstruck. But I sat next to him, but he's such a humble, nice guy.
Yeah.
He's not what you would expect a footballer to be.
Mm.
And I just got chatting with him, chatting about the whole story of what I'd done, what I did, told him about my hobby. And he said, "Oh, you're a photographer as well," and he's quite interested in arts and stuff. And I showed him a few images. He's like, "Wow." He says, "Wow, you've taken these?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Right." He said, "I've got a testimonial coming up. We've got all the Derby County legends going to be there. Your Stimacs, your Gabbiadinis, your stories. All the old Derby County legends are having a testimonial game, and I want you to be my personal photographer. Are you up for it?" And I was like, it was one of them Richard Branson moments where you say yes and then worry about how to do it after.
Yeah.
That is exactly that. And that was a turning point for me, because I thought, if he's asking me and if he likes my stuff, I must be all right.
Yeah.
And I think that was the point where I believed in myself.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, I am good at what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep sticking at it. And I think before you go out and set up on your own,
Yeah.
you have to have that belief.
Yeah.
If you're one of these people that think, yeah, I'm all right at what I do, I think I'll be okay, don't do it yet.
Yeah.
You have to 110% believe that you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
Otherwise you won't have that drive.
Yeah.
And there's no arrogance with that or anything like that, or overconfidence. I just think you have to have that inside you.
Yeah.
And that was a big turning point for me.
Yeah.
That game, because I'd never photographed a football game. I remember that week before I was studying shutter speeds to freeze ball action, borrowing kit off other photographer friends because I didn't have the kit at the time.
Yeah.
Asking the local camera shop to borrow zoom lenses because I couldn't get close to the action with the kit I had.
Yeah.
So I had to pull a lot of favours.
Yeah.
I had to learn quickly, but I did it, and that was one of the best things I ever did. That was one of them moments where you do say yes and then worry about how to do it after. I was absolutely bricking it.
Yeah.
No one probably knew, because I'm that type of person where I don't give off that I'm frightened or scared at something.
Yeah.
But that evening, especially being surrounded by a lot of Derby County legends, which I'd grown up watching as a kid,
Yeah.
Stood in the changing room thinking, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is living a dream. And that gave me a taste of, God, imagine doing this full time.
Yeah.
This would be amazing. And
Yeah.
that's because I had that taste.
Yeah.
I thought that this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is where I want to be. And that's what gave me that little kind of, right, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that once I got the bit between my teeth after that game,
Yeah.
nothing was going to stop me. I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm sane with this now, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's when I kept pursuing what I wanted to do. Then
That is an amazing story. And I suppose what everybody will be wanting to know is, how did the shoot turn out?
Shoot turned out fantastic. Yeah, it was amazing. I think it was just because I was his personal photographer, I was access all areas. I could kind of really get into the nitty gritty of him preparing for the game. So obviously, it was the first game he'd played since he smashed his knee up against Forest.
Right.
So he was out with a massive injury for years. So I got to follow that story of. It was quite emotional for him because it was his last. I suppose it wasn't his last game, but it was his last game for Derby, and the first game from being out from a very, very bad injury for a long time. So I got to follow it up close and personal. And I think after the game I delivered the images and he updated his Twitter. I think he's still got it as his Twitter profile picture, or his Twitter header picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as him carrying his two girls off the pitch.
Yeah.
And then I got some prints done and he signed one for me, and I've got it on my stairs on my house, and it just says to Mark, amazing night, amazing photos, many thanks, Sean Barker. And that sits on the top of my stairs next to a signed Derby shirt, and it's things like that where you think, you do pinch yourself, even though, I'm not saying it's like one of the biggest job I've ever had, but it's just, for me, it was a really big personal achievement to work with someone like Sean, who was very humble, and who to this day now I'm still very thankful of what he's done for me and the opportunities he's given me. So it was it turned out really well.
Yeah, so that was a real pinch yourself moment. And again, I think where people sometimes get the wrong impression is that you put yourself in that position for that pinch yourself moment. It wasn't luck. You hadn't waited for the universe to deliver a moment of truth. You'd been out there hustling, you got out there, you made it happen, and like you said, when the opportunity presented itself, you said yes, and then figured out how to make it happen later on. And there's a lot of hard work that has gone into just getting to the point of realising, right, this is most definitely for me. It wasn't by accident.
It wasn't, no. And I think you have got to put yourself in them scary situations.
Yeah.
That night, still to this day, I knew I wasn't ready for that night. But it is one of them moments, I suppose, where your manager will get you off the sub bench and say, just go out there and go and do it.
Sink or swim,
and that's what it was. And sometimes, I'm not going to say you swim every time, you don't.
Yeah.
There's been stuff where I photographed and then looked back at it and thought I could have done that better, I could have done it differently. So not every gig goes as well as that.
Yeah.
It was just one of them gigs that I threw myself in. That was really thankful for the opportunity. Didn't know if it was going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'd done enough research and had enough support around me in terms of equipment and people lending me equipment. I took a friend of mine, Chris West, who had loads of equipment, and I took him along with me. I said, you can't just give me the equipment, come along with me, come and shoot with me. And and it was I was really thankful of them types of people around me at the time who helped me make that moment what it was. So that was it was really a big turning point for me. Great story. So going back to day one of Mark Averill being his own boss, can you remember that day, how it felt getting up in the morning, how the day went? No, do you know what? I don't.
Wow.
No,
okay.
I don't. Well, I was working from home a lot, so I worked from home for the first probably 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So I had a little desk. I remember going to IKEA and buying a tiny little desk.
Yeah.
Our house isn't big. And just bought a little desk to sit in the hallway. And then just started to invest in a bit of equipment, because you can't be a good photographer on rubbish equipment. You've got to constantly invest all the time.
Yeah.
In the latest technology. And I just remember, I don't know, it's quite vague that I think because it's been such a whirlwind.
Yeah, you've not had a chance to think about it.
No, I haven't. I remember going out networking and handing my new business cards out with my new logo on. When I went out full time, I got a friend of mine, Carl Shaw from Silver Birch Creative, to redesign me.
Yeah.
And he come up with my kind of MA icon.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that and feeling it on the business cards, and then relaunching my website thinking, this feels good, this feels real now.
Yeah.
I've got a decent brand behind me.
Yeah.
And I remember just going out there, and I organically picked work up.
Yeah.
Because people knew I was doing it full time.
Yeah.
So they was then not scared of asking. I was like, well, he's doing it full time now, so let's give him a shot. And I think when I had the first couple of good gigs in, I then started to build it. It started building up quite quickly then.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the first day.
Can you remember your first client and how they came about?
No, I can't. Unless I look back.
Yeah. There's been a lot since.
There's been a lot since. I can't. I remember constantly farming for work from Derby County, because I had that great feeling still from the testimonial. I wanted to work with them.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of free shoots for Derby County in the first 6 months to a year, to show them what I could do.
Yeah. And has that paid dividends for you?
That's paid dividends massively. We work with the club a lot now. There was a client that I always wanted to get, because it's someone I love to work with.
Yeah.
Because I'm so passionate about a football club. It's something I love. someone said to me, if you can photograph what you love, it doesn't feel like, it won't feel like working.
Yeah.
And that's very true. When I photograph a game on match day and you've got the crowd sat behind you cheering and you're on pitch side,
Yeah.
it's wicked.
Yeah.
It's so
Hair
so
standing
good.
on end for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're down the tunnel and you're part of the behind the scenes. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did a lot. We did a lot of free stuff at the beginning with them to get in there. I'm not saying you have to go out there and do loads of free stuff to get business. That's not how it works. But in some instances, when you've got a lot of people fighting to do that work, there'll be a lot of people everywhere who would love to go and photograph for their own football club.
Most definitely.
A lot of people in Derby who would love to shoot for their club. So I had to just show them, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Here it is. And that worked. And, we work with them in a big way now. So, I think they were a first big client. And then when people start to see that type of client on your books, people then naturally follow. If he's working with them and doing a good job for them, then he's good enough for us. And then they see the results, like, wow. And then you get a testimonial here, and then they're passing a word of mouth onto there. And I think that's what's happened. Because people say, how do you get your business? And I always say, I don't bloody know, to be honest with you. There's emails every day, and there's a phone call every day for some sort of work or opportunity, without heavily marketing the business. We don't do heavy marketing.
But I suppose every project that you complete is marketing.
It is
for the business, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
we're lucky. We've got it easy in marketing, really, because we have such great content we can share. That's usually photos and videos, if our client allows us. And once that's shared, we then pick up another client off the back of that. So and that's been the hardest thing in developing our new website. Is what do we put on there? There's that much good stuff. Where do you start? And that's why website's still not live. Because we're still struggling on what to put on there. But it's we're constantly putting out there content. I think that's how it organically comes in, really.
Okay. So we've talked about your first day, and obviously it has, and I know because we've had conversations, many of over the last couple of years, it's been a whirlwind since then. But can you remember leading up to that first day? Had you been 100% frame of mind, I'm doing this, nothing's going to stop me, I'm going to be my own boss, I'm going to be self-employed? Or can you remember having any pangs of doubt, or any times where you thought, oh my goodness, this isn't going to work?
I remember in my last job, the last job I had when I was working in the relocations business, which I really enjoyed, but I remember having a conversation with the owner of that business, and I wasn't happy at the time. I wasn't happy myself. I don't know if that's because of the job I was doing. I just wasn't enjoying it, and they picked that up. They were a lovely couple to work for when I worked for Carl and Lisa. They were like another family. And they knew I wasn't happy. I was like, Mark, you're not yourself. You're coming in with your head down. You seem almost depressed. What's up with you? And I said, I don't know. Just don't know. And they said, well, it either needs to change, or you need to kind of go and do your own thing, because we know you love photography, because I was shooting for the apartments and stuff at the time. And so that's kind of what happened. It was almost a kind of, well, I've got to change it up. And I left there on good terms. We left on good terms, and I almost had to make it work to kind of, one, make myself happy again, and two, I had to. I had no other job to go in. I don't know, at that point I didn't really want to go and work for anyone else. I just thought I just want to go and photograph. I had that feeling from the testimonial. I just thought I just got to go with it. So I wasn't pushed, really. It was more, I wasn't happy. So I thought, well, will this make me happy? Because it did before, doing it part time. So why wouldn't it doing it full time? But you do have them moments sometimes where you're like, you doubt, or you think it's getting too much. And I'm not gonna lie, the last year, sometimes you have them weeks where you think this is getting too much. This is an animal now. And you have them weeks where you will have them doubts. You think, I don't know if I'm built for this. I don't know if I'm geared for this.
How do you overcome those moments? Or how do you deal with them?
I just think you've got to look after yourself, which I'm not great at, to be honest with you. Jenny will probably vouch for this. I literally am work. And it's only like the weekend just gone. I'll take time out and go away for the weekend.
Yeah.
Where I can just recharge.
Yeah.
And back on again. And I think sometimes, when you first start out, you think you just got to go all the time. I think if you think you're going to take a day off, you think the business is going to fall away and go. Or if you take a week off, or even just take a day out. I mean, like, you know, even if you just think, you know what, I'm knackered today, my head's not in it, I'm just going to take a day off. Back in the day, I probably wouldn't have done that, but now I would. The business is not going to go.
Yeah.
I think you always got that worry of, oh, what if the business doesn't, you know, what if we lose business by having a day off?
Yeah.
Or if we have a week off, and someone rings to book in,
yeah,
and you're not there.
Yeah.
You've got to get them worries out of your head. People won't just switch off.
Yeah.
They'll always want you. They'll always need you. I think you've got, for me now, in the next 2 years, I've got to start looking after myself a lot more.
Okay.
That's mentally and physically, because it does take a toll.
Yeah.
You know, and people who know me know I've probably been quieter, I've not been to as many events,
Yeah.
not been out there as much. And people sometimes think that you're being ignorant, you're not. You're just concentrating on keeping your eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're building something, you know, in a business like ours is now, where it's growing rapidly, you can't take your foot off the gas. But at some point you have got to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you can it can lead you in a dark place. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So for example, let's say somebody who's in a similar position, a business owner that's growing their business, maybe their friends and peers aren't in the same situation. You know, they go out every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to do that anymore because, you know, especially at the beginning stages, every spare hour you're putting into the business, your friends are coming back to you saying, "What's up? Why aren't you coming out? You're boring," etc.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I think you do. You'll find out who your friends are. I think. I have big friendship circles.
Yeah.
Which I still have now, but you know, and it was getting to the point where every weekend there was, you know, we're going to get together, we're going to do something, or Mark, you know, are you coming to an away game? You know, go with a lot of friends there, and I couldn't do it because I was working.
Yeah.
And because I was probably saying it quite frequently, it almost probably sounded like I was just making an excuse not to go. I wasn't. I was actually, and still am actually working my arse off. So I think people will understand. I think you've got to, you know, I think hopefully when they see you in the future and it's worked, and you're doing well, then they'll understand, you know, that you had to put that time in, you had to put that graft in.
Yeah.
And you will lose friends. You know, there will be people who won't stand for that and who will be like, no, you know, no, we've asked you 4 times now if you're going to meet up, and you can't, and you know, you lose a lot of friends. And that's the hard bit, you know. It can become a lonely place because you're constantly on the work game all the time, and you're not giving yourself enough personal time.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to be careful of that.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm only just now starting to pick back up with old mates and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't got many friends, you know, and I think a lot of people in business will probably relate to this. You don't have many mates.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people who are like social, what do they call them? I don't know. So, you know, they're just always social. They're doing
social
something.
animals, sort of stuff. Yeah.
Doing something every day, every evening, every weekend.
Yeah.
They're going here, there, everywhere, and you're not. And you're thinking, well, I'm working my arse off, and I'm not getting to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you do have to park that side of your life.
Yeah.
To do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So eventually, hopefully, you get to a stage where it's just flying itself.
Yeah.
Then you can take time off and start to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think people who are true friends will then pick back up with you.
Yeah.
And people who don't were obviously not meant to be
your
friends.
Yeah.
And that sounds quite harsh, hearing myself say that, but that's reality.
Yeah.
You know, life's very short.
Yeah.
Life's very short.
Yeah.
Which I find out in recent months, you know, in having a mini stroke and all that, you think, God, you know, life could snap you as quick as you're born.
Yeah.
So you've just got to go with that flow.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, you know, that's a difficult side. You have got to juggle having friends and having a personal life, but it does go by the waist if you're not careful. And I'm only just starting to pick that back up now.
Yeah.
So you know, and so if people who are listening who are friends, It's not a, you know,
it's nothing personal.
It's nothing personal. It's just you've got to keep your head down.
Yeah. But that's what got you to where you are now. And again, I think that's something that doesn't really get talked about, is the sacrifices that you have to make to be successful.
Yeah.
You're not going to get there working 9 till 5, seeing your mates every evening, spending all weekend away, not thinking about work. You've got to put in the graft, because if you don't, you know, I think there's sometimes there is, you know, to an equal degree, you get how much you're prepared to sacrifice. And
exactly.
I don't think we see that very often. You know, a lot is preached about, you know, don't work too hard, you can get there 9 to 5, 5 days a week. But I've never met, you know, in all of the contexts that we know of business owners, I don't know anybody that sticks by that. So
no, you've got to put that graft in. I've got a vision. So my vision is, you know, I'm putting this graft in now to grow something. You know, and Ash, my business partner, is exactly the same thinking. Is that we're putting this graft in now to grow it to a stage where people are running it for us. Yeah. Or in 5 years' time, it's worth millions and millions of pounds, and we'll just sell it.
Yeah. Why not?
And then we can enjoy our life. You know? It's just, it's one of the things you have got to keep your eye on the prize. And I think, you know, our goal at the minute is to grow, you know, as where we currently are, Averill Media, into a company that's got the right morals, but run by the right people on the same cloth as us. Yeah. You know, it's a people's business where we win a lot of our businesses, because we're good with caring for what we do and caring for the people who we work for. Yeah. And we deliver what we say. Yeah,
and that's definitely clear, you know, from the people that I've met and seen the work from the business. Everybody here has got a passion. They're not just coming here to turn up to work and get a paycheck. You know, they love what they do.
They love what they do. Yeah. And that's what we want to build it to. So eventually we can take a step back. That's what we want, you know. Ash, I'm 34 now. Ash is 44. You'll kill me for saying that. Well, you know, in 6 years' time, he's going to be 50. Wow. You wouldn't think that looking at him.
No, you don't look at Ash.
30. So, you know, when he's 50, I'm looking out for him now. I almost have to look out for him as a brother and a business partner. You know, I want to say to him at 50, mate, take that time out now. Yeah. You know, bugger off for 2 weeks.
We got you.
You know, so that's what we need to be. So you have to put the graft in to get to that stage.
And so how do you manage that balance now? Obviously, you've got a young family, you've got a partner, you've got a thriving business. Is there such a thing as balance?
No, there's not. I don't think there is. You know, Jenny will totally agree with this, is that I don't spend enough time at home. Yeah. I don't spend enough time with the kids. And at weekends, I can still be kind of switched on to doing things. Yeah. So I will get frustrated at the weekend if the family just wants to do nothing all day. Yeah. I can't sit there and do nothing. I almost think I've got like ADHD. I have to be doing something. Yeah. I can't just, on a Saturday, I can't have a line. Yeah. Unless I'm absolutely exhausted and tired, or I've been out and out before, which is a rarity now. You know, I have a lie-in, but apart from that, it's there's no balance. I think you just have to. You have to try at it. And it does put your family and friendships and relationships under strain. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, it does. But you know, you've just got to keep working at that and keep your eye on the end results. So yeah, I'm trying harder at that. I'm trying to find hobbies that that will include all of us, or like if on a weekend, my thing on Saturday morning is to wash the cars. Yeah, I love doing that. People think I'm a maniac going out there 7:30 in the morning using a jet wash. Probably hate me on my post, but I love washing my car. That's like a thing I love doing, but I have to be doing something. Yeah. So when I'm on, when we take a holiday, we went to Lanzarote last year. Probably took me 3 days and we were only away for 7 days. It took me 3 of them days at the beginning to fully just switch off. Yeah. Not checking my phone. Yeah. Eventually leaving my phone in the apartment. Yeah. And spending some time with the kids. Yeah. On Sunday, just gone, I went to Wales and I barely went to my phone and it was bloody fantastic. Still use my camera. See, that's a hard thing because I love taking pictures of the kids, but then I've not been taking pictures of the family and kids because I'm getting that busy in the week. I'm sick of taking pictures. So, on Sunday it was just seeing their faces light up and just staying in a hotel and going on the beach. And I said to Jenny that day, I said, we've got to do more of this. Yeah. This is good for me. Yeah. And this is good for us. Yeah. And we need to do more of that. And I think you do tend to put a lot of that aside
Yeah.
when you go into business. You don't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
It's because you're just wrapped up in your own little world.
Yeah.
As we all are as entrepreneurs, we're just thinking, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing next week?
Yeah.
Well, you're not considering other people.
Yeah.
So you've got to be better at that, and I'm trying to be better at that.
Yeah.
So it's a tough juggling act, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
You just got to be mindful all the time.
Yeah.
Of what you're doing and how much time you're splitting between things.
Yeah, and ultimately, the family hopefully will be able to enjoy the fruits of the labour as well. You're able to go away for the weekend and stuff, which you might not be in a position to do if you weren't.
Exactly. Like I say, I'm 34 now. If I can retire at 45, 50, great. If George and Olivia have got a really successful business they can be part of when they leave school or college or uni, fantastic. If they never go without anything. We're working hard, and then we want to move house. We want to live in a nice place. Yeah, we want nice things in life, and I think sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of things to get them. It doesn't just you see all these network marketing companies, and they do these seminars like you could be driving a Range Rover like me. Yeah. Selling this product. It doesn't work like that.
There's no shortcuts.
What they don't tell them people is that they've been doing that network marketing business probably for 20 years. And that's why they've got the Range Rover parked outside. Yeah. It doesn't happen in a week, but they're selling it that it happens in a week, a month, a year. It doesn't. Yeah. So, people just got to understand that it's a slow burner. Unless you've got some wicked idea that sells for millions of pounds after a year, then yeah. Which sometimes that happens, Yeah,
but even then, you only hear about it when it happens. You don't hear about the 10 years that they've put in to get to that point, do you? You just hear that it's sold for billions and overnight success, when actually they've been working 48 hours a day for the last 20 years to get to that point. So.
Exactly. And I think that's what you've got to install in people. That's the message I certainly want to get across on something like this, is that it doesn't just happen overnight. And when you read these books and hear these, and they're fantastic, some of them, like you hear some of these speakers, they are great. Yeah. But I would only listen to the ones that have been there, done that. Yeah. If you've not owned a business, lost a business, sold it, or been successful or unsuccessful at the business, I don't think they should be speaking at them events.
Yeah, I'll certainly take it with a pinch of salt.
Exactly. Yeah. I think if you've been there, done that, and worn the 10 t-shirts that you have to wear in the business, then that's when I think you can only relate to. Yeah. So it doesn't just happen overnight. Unless you've got, unless you've got some crazy idea that works. Yeah. That's gonna cure an illness or something. Yeah. And you might make millions in a year, but it's it's a tough long haul. Yeah. You're not in it. It's not short term.
Yeah. All right. So from you being an independent photographer to the animal that is now Averill Media, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I've known Ash, my business partner, now for going on for 10 years. Okay. So it's quite funny, really. I met Ash at the Derby Conference Centre. So when I was working at the Derby Conference Centre, the marketing team got Ash in to do the pictures of the bedrooms and the conference rooms, and I was interested in photography then and doing a few bits and bobs on the side. So I was almost kind of asked, when he used to come in, I was asking him questions of, how do you do that? And we got on really well. And then as my hobby developed, I always used his studio as a studio space, and we kept in touch as friends, really, and it came, we Ash has always done a lot of video and photography, and we kept in touch and kept using the studio. And then I was in Irongate for a year when I first started up Averill photography, and it just wasn't fitting right. It was up loads of steps. Yeah. It was a great location because I was top floor on Irongate, and it was great.
Smack bang in the middle of the city centre.
Yeah. Good address. And I think I needed that for the first year, so people knew I had an office and I wasn't just playing at it. Yeah. I had a studio, had an address. It's in Derby. And then it just kind of, I didn't outgrow it or anything like that. Just the space wasn't working. So I approached Ash and said, look, can I take an office space at the studio? He said, yeah, I've got this space down here. Jump in. So I jumped in November 2017. Yeah. And we organically started to then work together. So I'd have a project that come in and they'd mention, oh, do you do video as well? And I'd be like, actually, I don't, but I work at a studio with a guy who does video.
Yeah.
And vice versa for him. He was getting, even though Ash does photography, he was getting photography gigs in that probably more suited me.
Yeah.
And would pass me work, and we kept passing each other work, left, right, centre.
Yeah.
And that kept growing and growing and growing, to a point where we said, why don't we just, why don't we play at joining up in a new brand and having a media business?
Yeah.
And just see how it goes.
Yeah.
So we didn't fully commit at the start. The first couple of months, we still kept hold of our own respective businesses.
Yeah.
But it just, like, literally, as soon as we launched it, it went bang. People were like, well, what's this? This looks cool. Because we were combining our two sets of content, it really worked.
Yeah.
So after 2 months, we just said, right, okay, let's just do it then. Let's just put all our eggs in and just fully commit to Avit Media. So any jobs we get in goes through Avit.
Yeah.
From Ash's side, from my side, we had equal amount of clients.
Yeah.
Ash's got a lot of contacts in London. I had a lot of contacts here. The automotive stuff kept growing and growing.
Yeah.
So we need more people, and we just went for it. Not an easy decision.
Yeah.
Because when you work for yourself, you work for yourself.
Yeah.
Not anyone else.
Yeah.
So when you decide you want to do something, you just go and do it.
Yeah.
By working in a partnership, you don't. And before I did it, I had a lot of people say, "Oh, why are you doing that?" I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, because I wouldn't get into bed with anyone else in business. No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And that not anything malicious or anything. There's a lot of people wasn't saying great things about what I was doing.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's a bit risky.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out. But I think if you're both hard working and fully committed, which Ash is probably more than me, that guy works 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And have that trust. It's a big trust element.
Yeah.
You're putting your phone book in someone else's hands.
Yeah.
And they're putting their phone book in your hands.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with your clients who you've nurtured and grown over many years.
Yeah.
And expecting them to look after them as well as what you do.
Yeah.
It is a big risk, but I think if you're in bed with the right person, then it works, and that's what's happened. It has worked.
Yeah.
It's a big trust thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing hidden. We're very open with each other. At the start of our business relationship, it probably wasn't.
Yeah.
He'd do things to annoy me, and I wouldn't say anything. I'd do things to annoy him, and he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Where now, ever since we've been coming to the kind of your sessions with the group sessions.
Yeah.
One of the points was that we need to talk more.
Yeah.
And we do. If he's pissing me off one day,
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
I'll say, mate, what the hell is wrong with you today?
Yeah.
Go home. We'll finish early. Go
Yeah.
and chill out. Go and grab a coffee. And you have to be very open with each other.
Yeah.
Nothing can be hidden.
Yeah.
And that's in business in terms of finances, what we're spending, what we're doing, how much, because that was difficult. How much we're going to pay ourselves.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Who's having what?
Yeah.
Who's buying what?
Yeah.
So you have to. It's hard.
Yeah.
But Bill Gates didn't build Microsoft on his own.
No.
So two heads are better than one.
Okay.
And that's coming straight from the horse's mouth. It's been. We wouldn't have Avit Media
Yeah.
as big as what it is now.
Yeah.
Just by me running it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on my own.
Yeah.
You've got someone else there to rely on.
Yeah.
But I think if you are considering a business partnership, you've got to really understand and know that person.
Yeah.
One is that you can work with them.
Yeah.
You're going to piss each other off sometimes.
Yeah.
We all do. We just piss each other off generally sometimes. You do. Then some days you just literally hit it, and you're like, yeah, this is why we work together, and that's what we do. We're on set together. We literally bounce off each other.
Yeah.
We're very good at working together, but we've both got the same goals.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to, if you are about to consider going into partnership with someone, you've got to have one who's going to put the same amount of work in as you.
Yeah.
Same work ethic.
Yeah.
Got the same goals, and you've got to be honest and open with each other.
Yeah.
And trust each other 110%.
Yeah.
Which me and Ash do, and that's how we've grown Avit.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's not an easy journey. Business isn't, but you've got to have that trust.
Yeah.
You've got to have that full trust.
Do you think it's important that you both bring a similar amount to the table as well? Obviously, you'd said that you both brought your own sort of same levels of contact, experience, etc. Do you think that's also what's helped to sort of solidify the relationship from day one?
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I organically probably bring more work into the business, but it just comes in organically just from the phone book.
Yeah.
And that never bothers me because we're able to now service that need, where before I was turning work away.
Yeah.
So that was another reason why I went into partnership, because I was turning work away.
Yeah.
Because I was too busy. So, I think you are going to always get maybe one other person that will bring more business in.
Yeah.
And we never compete with that or anything like that.
Yeah.
We always push each other along.
Yeah.
I think as long as you've got the work coming in and everyone's busy,
yeah,
who cares?
Doesn't matter where it comes from.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as the figures are stacking and you're feeding everyone's mouths every month.
Yeah. That's what counts.
That's what counts.
Amazing. Right, so we've just got to the hour mark. My original plan was to keep it to an hour, but this has seriously been an amazing 60 minutes so far. So there's a few more questions I just want to get through. So we'll just fire them out and see how we go.
Yeah.
So proudest achievement so far, business wise?
There's probably two really. But I mean, one is kind of getting Derby County as an official.
Yeah.
Client and doing the sponsorship there, seeing our logo in lights on a match day. I love that.
Yeah.
When I drive past Pride Park Stadium and see the logo on the side of the stadium, that's a big wow moment for me. Even though I never bloody see it every time I drive past, but everyone else sees it, so it must be working. And then two is how we've grown our automotive arm of the business, because I'm big into cars and big into automotive. Listers has really grown with us, so I'll probably say Listers and Derby County are two big business achievements for us, and just gaining them clients, two massive clients. We're working with them really well, and they love what we do. Yeah. So I hope that continues to grow. Yeah. So that's a really two big ones for me. Okay,
let's say we're going back in time again. You could go back to 21-year-old Mark.
Yeah.
You can give him one piece of advice. What would you say to him?
Don't let other people put you down.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I was bullied at school, so I suppose when I started, my turning point was starting college, and then I met a lot of good friends at college.
Yeah.
So at school, I was literally always on my own. So my piece of advice to that 21-year-old who was probably at college, I wouldn't have been at college, I'd have been in work, would be to, if someone criticises you or puts you down, as long as it's constructive, then listen to it, take it with a pinch of salt. But if it's kind of non-relevant, just swipe it off the table.
Yeah.
Before I take everything to heart.
Yeah.
I think that's probably from school bullying. You take everything to heart. So now I'm like, no, if you don't like it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
Yeah.
So that's probably, I don't know, that's probably my advice. Yeah, don't just go. It's don't take things to heart.
Yeah.
If you feel you want to go and get something, just go and get it.
Yeah.
I wish I probably had someone in business at the time when I was 21 telling me those things.
Yeah.
Because I've had to learn them things myself.
Yeah.
But I suppose you do, really.
Yeah.
That's part of growing up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You learn these things on the go.
Yeah. Most definitely. Okay, so we've talked about your proudest achievement, well, the two of them, Derby County and the Listers. What would you, if there has been one, what's been your biggest disappointment so far? Is there anything that you've tried that didn't work out the way you wanted it to? Was there any examples of that?
I don't know really. Maybe I should have, when I first started out the business, maybe should have sought joining someone at that time at the start, really, rather than go out on my own straight away.
Yeah.
But then I suppose in looking at it in another way, I've learned a lot of things doing that, and you learn how to just stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
It's the biggest disappointment, really. I suppose I don't know. I've got to get back out there in, I suppose, socially again.
Yeah.
So I'd say, not to switch off people so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's probably less business, more personal.
Yeah.
And in making sure that I'm not kind of hurting other people in terms of like saying, oh, bye, I'm just cracking on with work. I think I've got to maybe think of other people's feelings a bit more than your own. All the time, which is what I suppose what you do when you're in a business. You are thinking about what you're doing that day and not other people. That's kind of, I suppose, a bit of a self advice, really.
Okay. And so from your vast experience in business so far as a business owner, we've talked about a few already throughout the interview, but what would you say is the biggest misconception that people who aren't in that position yet have about being your own boss?
I think people think that it's just easy.
Yeah.
I don't know, you automatically think, and I suppose I would have thought this when I was employed.
Yeah.
You see people who are their own boss, you think, God, they've got it good.
Yeah.
They run their own business.
Yeah.
They can do what they want.
Yeah.
When they want.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. You're actually more trapped.
Yeah.
So if you think when you're employed at the minute, you're trapped. So from 9 to 5,
yeah,
you're trapped, aren't you? You're not leaving that office.
Yeah.
You can't just bugger off for 2 hours, go shopping, come back, and then nothing will be said.
Yeah.
That's not what's expected when you go into work. So you've got to get in your head that when you run your own business, it's not all kind of roses.
Yeah.
It comes with its downfalls, and it comes with you are trapped in, I suppose, in terms of you're steering all the time.
Yeah.
You can't take your hands off that steering wheel.
Yeah. People are relying on you to feed the families, get paid, live their own life.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think you've got to really consider that once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah.
And if you're not in it wholeheartedly, don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't bother. So it's I suppose my advice really is, or I suppose when people see people run their own business, it does look. I mean, and social media will have an effect on that.
Yeah.
When people look at maybe social media and even on ours, I suppose, and they see us working with all these fantastic clients. And we have some wicked clients. We're creating some cool content, and when we're doing the job, it is fun. It's brilliant. But and that looks fantastic and it's amazing, and that's what you do it for. But what they don't see is coming into opening your laptop at 6 a.m, firefighting your emails every day, because when you're on set shooting, people are still calling you.
Yeah.
People are still emailing you.
Yeah.
People are still asking questions. People are still invoicing you.
Yeah.
You're still invoicing them. You're still chasing payment.
Yeah.
They're still chasing you.
Yeah.
So what they don't see is all them cogs turning in the background whilst you're doing the job.
Yeah.
So that it's not a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
If you're a 9 to 5 person,
and
you want to work Monday to Friday, don't be your own boss.
Yeah.
If you're a grafter and you don't mind putting in a weekend shift, or coming in early in the morning, staying late at night, and just doing it, then it's built for you. But you've got to do what you love.
Yeah.
Don't do something that you think, oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
You've got to do something you enjoy.
Don't just do it for the money.
Don't just do it for the money.
Okay.
I take photos for a living. People look at that and think you've got the easiest job in the world, and it is a wicked job. It's not an easy job.
Yeah.
We have briefs to meet, we have deadlines to meet.
High expectations. Yeah.
So you've got to, if you're a 9 to 5 person, then don't bother.
Okay. Good advice. Great advice. Right. So with Averill Media, you've already talked about some wicked clients. I know from conversations that we've had, you've worked with Pearl and Dean, Tottenham Hotspur, Derby County, Lister's Motor Group. Yeah. What's the future for Averill?
We're growing. We are growing at a rapid pace at the moment. So my goal really is to grow, Averill Media into a 10-15 strong team.
Yeah.
People will use.
How many have you got right now?
So we're up to 6 at the moment.
Okay.
And I think, what a lot of businesses do is they grow too quickly.
Okay.
And that's when the wheels can fall off, because you then lose the face of the business. You then lose how you deal with clients.
Yeah.
So we're going to grow it slowly.
Okay.
Over the next 2 years.
Yeah. And that's interesting that's a conscious decision.
Yeah.
So that you do maintain that brand that you built.
Service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've just taken on a new guy in shooting the cars. What a lot of businesses would do, they'd take him on and throw him straight in.
Yeah.
But what I do is I'll take him on, I stay with him for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And until his photos look the same as mine of how a car is shot, then that's when I'll leave him to it.
Yeah.
So it's a slow process with us.
Yeah.
Because what we do is so, good.
Yeah.
We can't let that be affected.
Yeah.
So the plan is really to grow it slowly, and to be, we're a media business in Derby that offers photography and videography, but we offer it all over the world. I want to start travelling more.
Okay.
So we want more clients. Two big goals of mine is to work with another Premier League club, and a big thing for me, I would love to shoot for a Formula 1 team.
Okay.
So that's in the back of my mind, to get in with a Formula 1 team and do a season with a Formula 1 team.
Amazing.
And then Ash's similar kind of goals. He loves to work in fashion and stuff. We already work with some big fashion names. He wants to grow that side of the business more.
Yeah.
We've taken on Josh now, who's a national automotive manager. He wants to help us grow the car automotive side more.
Yeah.
It's growing.
Yeah.
And it's growing. It's growing uncomfortably at the minute for me.
Yeah.
Which is how I want it to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If I was comfortable, we're not going fast enough.
Yeah.
So I think we grow it at a nice pace.
Yeah.
To make sure we don't lose how we deal with people.
Yeah, amazing. But you've got some big lofty goals out there that you want to be working towards.
Definitely.
Amazing. And do you think that helps keep you motivated when the times do get tough? The fact that you've got these clients that you want to work with, does that give you the motivation to keep pushing through?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I do other things as well. I'll go to I'll like have a walk around Melbourne. Melbourne's a place where I want to live.
Yeah.
So that's a goal for me.
Yeah.
I don't have people have these dream board.
Yeah.
I keep mine up in my head, or I actually go and see what I want.
Yeah.
I'll walk around. We go around Melbourne quite a lot, and we go in there local quite a lot. We almost kind of like to feel like a local in Melbourne. Yeah. That's where I want to live.
Yeah.
That's where I want to kind of retire.
Yeah.
That's where I would like to be. So I think you've got to keep your eyes on that all the time.
Yeah. Get out there and smell the leather.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very true. We shoot with Land Rover now. Ash and I was sat in an SVR the other day, £150,000 SVR.
Nice.
And I said to him, this is, 2 years' time, mate, this is what we want to be driving.
Yeah.
And you are smelling the leather. You're literally smelling how that car is and hearing the sound of it.
Yeah.
Thinking, that's where we want to be.
Yeah, so for anybody out there that wants a bit of extra motivation, get yourself out to those Land Rover dealerships, Ferraris, get yourself a test drive and
be amongst it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people who will say, I'd love to have that, I can only dream of having that.
Yeah.
Now, don't dream about having it.
Yeah.
Just set your eyes on it.
Yeah.
And go for it.
Okay, amazing. And finally then, my last question for you, Mark, because this has been an amazing interview. There's been so many lessons and golden nuggets in here, and I'm sure that everybody's going to really have enjoyed it so far. For any listeners that want to get more of a flavour for what Averill Media does, where can we follow you online?
Yeah, so Averill Media, we're going to have a new website launched, hopefully, in July, which is www.averill.media.co.uk.
And that's AVIT
Media.
Yeah.
And we're on Facebook, Averill Media, Instagram, Averill Media Official, and Twitter @Derby Photos. And then we also have an Averill Media Automotive account on Instagram now as well. Instagram, we're always on there.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, we're always on there. Social media is a big thing for us. So give us a follow, give us a like.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see what kind of stuff we churn out. We're really fun, friendly, down to earth team to work with, and I think that's why we're doing as well as we're doing now.
Amazing. And all of those links will be in the show notes for everybody as well. So if you want to follow them, I'd highly recommend it. They've got some great stuff, particularly on the Instagram account. Again, benjaminbrain.co.uk, and check out the show notes. It'll be worth your while. Right, well, that brings it to an end, Mark. We've been chatting now for an hour and a quarter, but it doesn't feel like that. It has truly been an amazing interview. I hope everybody out there has got some real good lessons and insights, particularly for those who are in the starting period of starting a business or are thinking about doing it. I hope there's a few home truths in there that I think are rarely talked about. So well, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for being so open, and thanks for your time. It's been a pleasure. So there we have it, the first recorded interview for The Truth About Business. And Once again, I'd just like to thank Mark for taking the time to share his experience with us. It is much appreciated, and I really hope you enjoyed listening to Mark's journey and his sage business advice. But if you've got any feedback, good or bad, I'd love to hear it. Just ping me an email to hello@benjaminbrain.co.uk, or you can shoot me a message through any of my social media accounts. All of the links can be found at benjaminbrain.co.uk. And don't forget to follow me whilst you're there on LinkedIn or Facebook to get notified of the latest episode. In fact, I already have our next guest lined up, and the next show is going to be another big interview with another real-life business champion who's been featured in no less than Forbes magazine and is a regular guest to Downing Street. So to make sure that you don't miss out on that one, head over to my website at benjaminbrain.co.uk and hit subscribe so I can send you a notification as soon as the latest episode is released. And finally, if you know of any business champions that would make great guests on the show, please send me their details. That would be a huge help. And if you think you'd make a great guest yourself, don't be shy, let me know. I'm always on the lookout. That email address again is hello@benjaminbrain.co.uk, and let's see what we can do. So for now, stay hungry, stay focused, and get out there and make it happen. And here's to your business success.